Montblanc Explorer is an absolute hypebeast and took the internet by storm, becoming one of the most hyped up fragrances ever. Why didn't I ever say anything good about this fragrance? Well, let's find out. So this fragrance was made in 2019 in France by 3 perfumers: Antoine Misando, Jordi Fernandez, and Olivier Peixot. Yes, it took 3 people to make a DNA that already exists. Now, I did buy this fragrance as a tester, as you can only pretty much see by the box. Yes, this is a tester box. This is how it comes, and I saved a lot of money, but it does have all the information on there that you would need to know, including the batch code, which is on the top, and some reference number on the back. You do get some, I don't know, what is this? Ingredients. You want to see what I do to tester boxes? I throw them out. Probably should have used that for B-roll. The bottle does look nice, however. This is my 100 milliliter bottle, and this is eau de parfum concentration. I actually had this small bottle before. I actually really bought the full size just so I had the bottle to show you guys. This cap is hefty. Metal, there's a heavy kind of plastic inside. It is a star shape and has Montblanc star on the top of the cap there. There is some writing on there that does say Montblanc Explorer twice, in case you didn't know. On the top of the atomizer, it also has the star of Montblanc. It does have the star on the front of here where it's kind of surrounded by texture on there that looks really nice, and then on the bottom another star that's kind of pushed into the glass. Pretty much other than the box, there's no indication on here that this is a tester, so I find that pretty cool. If you can buy a tester, it does come with cap. At least I got it with cap, but my batch code is 40N193. So this fragrance does smell like a very popular fragrance, but before I tell you what that is, let's look at the notes. The top notes are bergamot, pink pepper, and clary sage. Mid notes, Haitian vetiver and leather, with the base notes ambroxan, akigala wood, Indian patchouli, and cacao pod. Cacao pod, I'm just seeing that. Cacao pod. It's there, somehow. So there's no beating around the bush. You guys probably already know that this is pretty much a clone of Creed Aventus. I think that this is more of an inspiration, which I will touch on in a bit. Now, this does open with an undeniable blast of this bright, kind of sharp bergamot, which I do think is quite fresh, also with this blast of ambroxan in your face. Like you would get like something out of other Montblanc fragrances. I do pick up on that patchouli and pink pepper right in the opening. This is kind of nicely being supported though by this leather woody feel in the backdrop, which I think gives it this nice supportive base. So how does this differ from Creed Aventus? They basically freshened this fragrance up. There's no smokiness in here. There's no birch smokiness coming from this fragrance. And basically they erased the kind of pineapple fruity note and replaced it with bergamot, which gives it this sharper, citrusier opening than Creed Aventus. So that's pretty much the only changes. I didn't like this fragrance because I don't think it's a good take on Creed Aventus personally, and I did think that this is undeniably going for Creed Aventus. If you're trying to look for a good dupe of Creed Aventus, this is not the place to go for it. And that's pretty much why I didn't appreciate it at first, because I have so much better inspirations on Creed Aventus than this. When I stopped seeing it as that and just saw this as a take on Creed Aventus instead of a dupe and tried to appreciate it for what it is, I gotta say I actually started liking this a lot more. Let's look at it for what it is. This is a clean, masculine, boss type of scent that a man with charisma and character would wear, based on one of arguably the best DNAs ever made for men's fragrances. So it's really hard not to like this fragrance. A lot of people will like this and a lot of people will compliment this. I do think that this has incredible versatility. You could wear this to the gym, you could wear it out shopping, you could wear it dressed up in a tie, t-shirt and shorts. And in fact, freshening it up, I honestly think makes it easier for a younger crowd to wear. It'll carry you through the warm weather better, and it actually has a lot more versatility than some dupes. I gotta give them credit for that. When Creed Aventus and some of those dupes focus heavier on the smokiness, woodiness of that fragrance and less on the fresh nature, kind of scares away a younger crowd. This is definitely good for that teenager or someone that's getting their first fragrance. But that being said, I do think that the scent profile alone, because they took away some of that smokiness and heavy birchiness of, well, Creed Aventus, and being fresher overall, I do think that kind of zaps the character of what Creed Aventus DNAs are like. Although that's probably what they're going for here, I do think that that makes this more of a generic scent profile instead of something that stands out with character like some of those Creed Aventus likes in my collection. So what is the price of this fragrance? Well, this is what you might like. Retail for this, a 100 ml is $159 Canadian, but on discounters or in rack stores, you're gonna find this for way cheaper. I actually bought this as a tester for $59 Canadian, which is incredible price value. Let's talk about the performance. So this is another hit that a lot of people may not like. It's actually not that good performing compared to some other Aventus likes, but I will say that this actually does does last longer than actual Aventus, which is crazy to say. This is an eau de parfum concentration. I got a respectable 6 hours out of this fragrance, which I think is pretty decent. Projection, I got about 2 feet out of my arm's reach for the first hour or so, but then it starts to back its way down. I got about a 1 foot nice bubble and pretty good sillage actually out of this afterwards. That took me to the 4-hour mark before this progressed into the skin scent territory. Although the projection is not heavy, it does carry nicely in the wind. Somewhere in that 4 to 6 hour range, closer to the 6-hour mark, I did find that this pretty much disappeared off my skin. For a Montblanc fragrance, I think that this did quite well for performance, but other than that, I think that this smells very good. I think that this is a very decent performer, but I want to touch on some final notes before I wrap this up and give it a score out of 10. I think the Club de Nuit Intense Man limited edition parfum is only like $15 more than this. I would recommend that over this if you were looking for Creed Aventus, but if you wanted a fresher take, not so heavy on the smoke or birchy woods, this is actually better for you. If you want Creed Aventus but fresh for any time of the year, definitely consider getting this. And if you don't even care for the Aventus style DNA and just want a good masculine type fragrance that will carry you through anything, just buy this. It's honestly worth the price in my opinion, and it's worth the hype, but not as worth the hype as some other inspirations. Overall, I'm going to give Montblanc Explorer a 7.8 out of 10. I do think that there are better interpretations of Creed Aventus. I talk about one right here, so definitely check that out.